How are you? How are you all? Who's here? There's one person here with me right now. Just going to wait for a few more people to join. So excited today. Going to be introducing a new format for this process of these lives. So I'm going to wait for people to join on. So usually it takes about 5 minutes for notifications to go on and people to click in and out. Who is here now? Say hello. Here we go. People starting to come in. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Wherever you are, happy day, wherever you are. Oh, hi, Tammy. Good to see you here. Oregon, right? I've never been to Oregon, but I want to go. All right, I got it right. And there is a little bit of a delay. Just going to say, I forgot my coffee. I haven't even finished my coffee. All right, people starting to join in. Hello, hello. I don't see any moderators yet, but potentially we might get lucky as things get a little bit busier. So today's topic is about present moment awareness. Hi, Oliver. Thanks for being here. We have a moderator for when the chat gets a little out of hand. So today's topic is about present moment awareness. And I've been thinking a lot about these YouTubes because I do them every day for this Being in Sync 366 video series that I have been compelled to do every single day to put out information that is, hi Mel, good to see you. Awesome. Thank you, Mel. Appreciating the mods. Yes. And I'm wondering, Tammy and Mel, are you guys in for the challenge from yesterday? 40 days is a lot of days. Curious because today's topic is about present moment awareness. And as I've been thinking about these YouTubes, I've noticed my teaching, how I've always taught classes and taught leadership development is really very much in an organized manner and, make it simple for people to understand. And yet it's not how I learn. It's not how I consult. Like I usually make an agenda when I was doing classes, but I would adjust with the present moment. And I always, Mel says she didn't think she can handle the 40 days. On 38 years in 40 days seems fair to give. All right, you're a young 38 for sure. She's saying, I think I can handle it. Awesome. Okay, good for you. So anyways, I was thinking about how I traditionally taught in corporations and in colleges when I was an adjunct professor for leadership. And I am really the type of person who learns and teaches from the present moment. And as much as I've enjoyed preparing for these YouTubes and trying to provide meaningful content, what I have found as I've gone into my own inquiry is that it doesn't really resonate for me completely. I'm not being totally honest to me and to my values. So as I hope that you are doing and knowing what your values are, I have my top values, and one of the values that I have that I'm really want to honor is about digging deep. And for me, digging deep means going beneath the surface and really being present to the moment and having those real, not just insights, which is an intellectual, oh, that's neat, but oh, that's profound and touches me somehow within me, and I want to make a change based on this new resonance. And so I thought, how can I bring this present moment desire that I have to live my life by? Like, all of my client sessions are all in the present moment. All of the healings that occur for all of my clients occur in the present moment. All of the things that are most important to navigate this world occur in the present moment with the pure acceptance and open-heartedness of our heart. And so I thought, how am I going to be totally authentically myself, which I am, and bring that way of experiencing to this platform, which I have no idea how it's going to go. So this is going to be a very experiential process, even more so than it's been. Because for those of you who are interested in participating in experiential learning, which, why don't we just do a poll on that? Because, are you even interested in experiential learning? Do you know what that is? So maybe that's the question. Do you know what experiential, hopefully I spelled it right. Let me put my glasses on real quick. Do you know what experiential learning is? Because without knowing, oops, I didn't spell it right. Let me close that. Shoot. There I go. Let me see if I can edit it. Okay, me and my fancy poll did not work. Okay, thank you. Your poll completed. Okay, let me try this one more time. Tammy is saying she doesn't know what it is, and certainly you are not alone. Let me see this again. Do you know what experiential not experimental, that's why Okay, here we go. Trying it again. So, do you know what experiential learning is, or learning by experience? So that's how I learned best. And for me and the people that come to my classes and would be a part of my programs that I teach, they always, were fully able to be engaged from their space of discomfort. Because experiential learning often occurs when people are feeling something that does not is incongruent with what they've known. So really, experiential learning causes you to go outside of your comfort zone and into this other realm, which I would suggest is where you grow and where you evolve. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do on these YouTube platforms moving forward. So how I've been doing the content for the last few months is I've been putting together a topic, and then I try to do the content from, anywhere from 5 minutes until 20 minutes, and then we will go into Q&A. But I'm going to change that. And what I'm going to change is every session for the next couple weeks. Hi, Eric. Full heart, Eric. Yes, I am with you. I love it. I want you to have a full heart, Eric. I want us all to have full operation of our heart expansion. And that can't happen when we're not in the present moment. So my thought is this, is that every session for the next week or so, I am going to, for the first 5 minutes, it's just going to be chit chat, how's your day? And I'm going to put a poll up, and you all who come in here are going to dictate the topic of that day. It's going to be live experiential learning in the present moment. It's not going to be some random, we're going to talk about this or that. We're going to actually resonate together and collectively. This is how collective consciousness operates, through resonance. And that's through our present moment experience of what we're feeling in the moment. Because when you listen to somebody on YouTube teach to you, that might be nice and it might be comfortable, but does it really provoke you to change? Does it really provoke you to want to improve or to be engaged in the participation or content? I'm not sure that it does. Now, so what I want to do is really make this live experience. Let it be a live experience for us all. So if anybody that's in the chat wants to go into the present moment with me, there will be an opportunity for transformation for you. Instead of being in the thought process of thinking I need to do this, and that in order to get there, which is very linear thinking. And as we know, the present moment doesn't work in linear thinking. That's not how the present moment works. The present moment works through our awareness. And as we have new awareness, we can expand into the infinite, okay? So that seems like something you might read from a book, but it's really about experiential learning. Learning is about being present to your experience. And when you are present to your experience, you can be expanded consciously. But if we continue to be in our thinking mind and very passive, you get what you get, right? You get what you get. But when you participate at another level, at a deeper level of authorization of yourself, you can experience something way more profound. Now, will this experience be different for you on the replay than in the participation? And I would say absolutely yes, it will be different, but that doesn't mean it will be less powerful. So you will have to determine through your listening how you're going to engage actively in the present moment, because experiential learning is essentially your experience. And what are you learning from the now moment of the experience? So all of my sessions, so a lot of you know what that is. Okay, so Tammy, does that help you? So when you are able to be present to the now moment, you're obviously going to have a connection between the heart and the mind, right? And then the mind is going to go into what the mind does, and it tries to interpret, well, what's the meaning of the experience? But the meaning is always going to be what we ascribe it to, like what we make it mean. So for example, when I'm working with my group teams, when I'm working with them and I'm giving them data, numbers that could be interpreted many different ways based on the perception, I help my clients interpret the data in a way that's not dangerous, meaning that they don't become destabilized mentally or emotionally because of what they're seeing or experiencing from the data. Now, think about other places where you get data that you might jump into a conclusion. A great place of that is the doctor's office. When you go to a doctor's and he's giving you data about your blood and he's interpreting it, you're not interpreting it. So then there's the interpretation based on the interpretation, and then there's your experience. So we have this opportunity to experience things very differently based on being present to the moment. So today's topic is really about present moment awareness, but it's also an introduction to how I'm going to be changing the format for today, moving forward. So the topics will always encompass a variation of the natural laws, because everything that I want to deliver in these videos is the importance of alignment to the natural laws. And a lot of people do not understand how important the natural laws are because we haven't been exposed to them. Or maybe we're not aware that we've been exposed to them. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, and I'm wondering what you think about all of that. So some of you are new here, and I know some of you might be interested in the natural laws, and I know some of you are just passing through. That's kind of like how this live feeds work. You get people that come in and pop out, and Uriel, thank you, is saying, I'm glad that you exist. I am glad that you exist. And this is this element of gratitude and appreciation, just not for me, but, I'm just a reflection of you. And that's a perfect example of how the natural laws work, is that, we get to interpret our experience based on what we're seeing. Now, some of the people in here are going to make judgments or assumptions, and I would love to talk about some of those too. I wanted to talk about one that's come up for me multiple times on this channel, which is credibility. And what is credibility? And what do we ascribe as credibility to something that we're going to take in as valuable or important or worthy of taking a pause? And what I will say is that, I've been hesitant to go and give all my credentials on here because I don't think they mean anything to me in comparison to what it is that I value, which is people who are willing to dig deep with me, to go into deep inquiry, to challenge their current situation, to improve their own persona and awareness of themselves, and to align to the natural laws. Like, that's what's important to me. If somebody has a degree or certification, oh, good. Good, Mel, thank you for that. If somebody gives credibility to a certification, that's your choice to do that. But for me, a lot of my learning spiritually is that the educational system of which I have my certifications and my degrees from have created more of a separation for what I believe is actually true, real, and important. And so therefore I challenge that. That's why I always say, no, I'm not a psychologist. No, I'm not a psychiatric nurse or doctor or anything like that, because I don't ascribe to those dogmas, you see. I do not think that those are valuable for me. Now, I know some of you have grown up and been raised to look at authority figures like doctors maybe and nurses or professors. But after being a consultant, as I have been for over 20 years, and teaching and consulting to graduates from all over the world at some of the most prestigious colleges, I have learned that they are not smarter, they are not more intelligent, they don't know more, they're not wiser. And I'm like, that means nothing to me. What means something to me is an open heart. Baba Tuthi, you are out of here. So what I am proposing is we get real. Like really real. And if you're willing to experiment with me, what I'm thinking is I'm going to put a poll up for the first 5 minutes of coming on live. whoever happens to be here. And then, so put your notifications on. And then you can really either vote on a topic that's there or put something in the comment that's really up and alive for you that you think is a relevant and worthy investment of our time. Armando is saying, you talk so smart, so I thought maybe you were a psychiatrist or something. And you know, to somebody who values those professions, that might be a compliment. But to me, it's not. I don't think that the vast majority of them are worth their weight. And that's not a diss on them. It's just that I don't value, I do not have a strong value alignment to what people say they do. I want to know what's real within somebody. I want to be able to feel their heart in what they're doing and not just kind of moving through the motions. Now, I know that I've gotten a lot of feedback on these YouTubes from some of you willing to share your feedback and comments and in email, and a lot of you like the structure. So you might not like the way that I'm going to be moving forward. But I think if you're willing to experiment with me, you will find these times that we spend on YouTube to be far more value added than somebody speaking to you about a topic that's not relevant to the moment that we're in at this time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel in the moment what is alive and kicking in the comments. So Tammy, thank you. You're willing. So Tammy, tell me what's up for you. Mel, tell me what's up for you. Yes, see, Muhammad's saying, but you need a title. I really don't want a title. And I think this is where the spiritual world and these materialistic aspects of who we are really goes awry, because I have seen people with titles that have a title and they don't operate in integrity. So what does that mean? It means that the title means nothing. And so I really want to operate from integrity, and I want to be in service to humanity. And yeah, I'm going to go to questions now. And so let's see how this goes. If you have something that's up for you, so let me see what topic you guys are feeling right now. I'm just going to get a sense of this. So you guys are going to see how I kind of work. And again, I'm not sure how it's going to work in this YouTube realm, so it should be interesting. And Mel, I was asking Mel about the 40-day challenge, which was I presented yesterday, and it's really about creating and aligning to the frequency of truth within all of us. And so that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be touching on in the videos, because the frequency of truth is far different than what we think. Right? And when we feel something, how do we interpret what we're feeling when we acknowledge it? Oh, thank you, Mohit. I appreciate your compliments. If you have a topic, put it in caps. Do this one thing. Go back 25 years in your life and tell us how your life was going. You know, Strike Right is asking a very relevant question, because I thought about this in meditation this morning. And I was really looking at aspects of myself that I didn't know that I was in judgment of, because I don't perceive myself as judging myself like I did growing up, for example. But I did have some judgments about, you know, how much I've changed. Because when you make big changes like I am doing now with videos every day and working with my clients in an unconventional way that helps them to know themselves in a more authentic way. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand what it means to be present. And I have talked to therapists that are like, well, what do you do, Kiannaa? Are you a Reiki person? Are you this? Do you do hypnotherapy? Do you do these? Hey, Peter, good to see you. And it's mind-boggling to me. Like, people just don't know what it is like to be present. And I think, well, I want to provide an opportunity for people to be present in this YouTube experience and see what happens. Hey, Wendy, thanks for being here. Woohoo! Mel is asking, is experiential learning through experience? Yes. It's learning in the present moment, in this moment that we're in right now, with me here and you there, and we're having a shared experience. It's different because we have different perspectives, but when we bring in different topics, they may trigger us different, that cause us to experience that moment differently. That's experiential learning, being present to that experience. It's very unconventional, and when I've done this with very mentally structured people like Peter, I assume you're very analytical, as am I, and I've done this, I'm just saying that because I know you work in a lab and it's very structured, but those mental constructs really keep us from being mentally flexible. And when we are aligned to the present moment, that is about flexibility, that is about flow, that is about alignment, that is about like where healing occurs. And when I have done this work with people like police officers, I was consulting to an entire group of police officers that were going through a leadership training, and they got my class. And they were excruciatingly uncomfortable because they had to acknowledge rank and file and who has more authority and leadership. And those questions are very challenging when you are told it's one way and then you experience it a different way. Meaning that your boss is the boss, but you don't really give him the credibility except to his face, and then you do what you want behind your back, which is not real authority. So anyway, so that's the kind of teaching that this can provide, and that makes people very uncomfortable. And it made the supervisor so uncomfortable that I got a talking to about how uncomfortable he was and how dare I make him uncomfortable. But we don't learn from our comfort zone. So I'm okay with people being uncomfortable as long as we're learning. Yes, Cripple Blue, I do one-on-one sessions every day. Yep. So good to see some of the regulars here. There was somebody, Nobody7, I haven't seen here for a while. Eric, yay, love it. I love it. Cripple Blue, private session at Chipotle. If you're meeting at Chipotle, that's a kind of attention that you're not going to get from me. Okay, I'm just going to look, I'm going to scroll down and put your topic that you're wanting to talk to in capitals. And I'm going to go and see what we got. What is up for you as far as what are you wanting to process? What are you aware of in this moment? Hello, what's more important than values and morals or being authentic? I don't see them as separate. I wonder why you would see values, morals, or being authentic as separate. Unless those values and morals have been prescribed, like an organization that tells you what you're supposed to value, like a family that tells you you're supposed to value family first, but operates inauthentically authentically from that, meaning they're incongruent with family being first and a priority, and it's only family first if you operate off of the parents' values of me first. That's not what I'm talking about. So hopefully that helps. Hey, Joel, thank you. All right, Tammy's on board. It might mean that I go somewhere else with this. I don't know. I'm just looking to see, because a lot of people come in here and say, what's the topic today? And so mental stabilization is a topic. Is this live stream about philosophy? This live stream is about life and living in alignment to the natural laws. If you think that's philosophy, so mental stability over time, remembering things become impossible topic. Okay, mental stability. Let's see if anybody else is saying mental stability for the topic. Are you a teacher? Kind of. Learning to be invisible, bound by external stimuli, and internal sense of motivation. All right, you all. So let's see whatever gets the most attention. I guess I could put these in a poll. I'm just going to scan real quick. Ascension process. Oh, that's a big one. So I'm going to start a poll and leave it for just a few minutes. This will be my first experiment. Topic for today. So we have mental stability. Okay. Then we're going to have the topic of invisible. And then we're going to have, what was it, Peter? Invisible. Oh, we had ascension. A lot of people don't know what ascension is. Okay, we'll just use those three for now. But there will be more, because I'm going to, every day, I'm going to do a poll in the first aspect. And then depending on which topic you guys want to talk about is what we're going to be talking about. Isn't this exciting? So go vote. I'll give it a few minutes, because I know we're already at 30 minutes. For those of you who have the habit of coming to my sessions and getting the topic up front, this is going to change. And the reason is I want this process to be more organic, because when we talk about the natural laws are the truest expression of creation. And I want to align with that. Invisible could be like unseen, not being recognized, or this is at least how I'm interpreting it, Mel. But like I said, this could be you can have a short back tilt. Oh, I don't know how to do that, Nitin. I am such a novice on YouTube. I'm just very fortunate to have Oliver and Peter here helping me. I don't know how to take a break. I'm so lame at this. How do I take a break? I'm looking at the options here. I don't have an option there. I don't have an option to take a break here. Oh, just leave unattended? Okay, that's good to know. So that's what I'll do. Thanks, Joseph. But maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow, is I will put the poll up, and then as many people who take the poll, learning to be invisible from our one's environment or relationships. Well, there's so many different ways on that. So let's see what the poll is saying. I'll give it a few more moments. And I just learned that I could change the way I am seen on here. Okay, this is no filter. Filter. Well, I didn't even know I could do these filters. So y'all, I am a rookie. Oh, wow. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I have not even known that I could do that. The opposite of expression. Well, the opposite of expression would be, in my opinion, would be oppression. So what a great, so invisible is, Mick, and part of this new way is going to include a drum and maybe some other things that I've been wanting to incorporate that I have not done. So we'll just have to see what the moment calls for. So let's just see what the topic today is. Okay, the topic today is about mental stability, okay? Which is a massive topic. And I want to approach this topic from the perspective of the natural laws, okay? So, when we think mental stability, the first thing that I feel is the lack of stability that so many people contend with. So when you are mentally stable, let's just say that you are mentally stable because you're here and wanting to become aligned. So we're just going to put you into the mentally stable category, if you will. And so you might see me close my eyes because I'm just going to feel into the experience of stability. And what is mental stability at the root is going to be congruency. This is going to be when somebody is actually in alignment. And then you might say, well, in alignment with what? Because a lot of mental stability for people has been to align with the old matrix of power structures. Okay? That's why when you hear me talk about the dogmas of the educational system, it's an indoctrination into a way of thinking that is not in alignment with creation. And so mental stability is really about having the mind connected to the heart, and the heart is actually directing the mind. So that's what true mental stability is from my perspective, in alignment to the natural laws. Now, is that different than what other people might think? Well, sure, we're all going to have a different experience of mental stability. But the stability is always going to come from the connection within the heart. And if people are in disconnection, they will struggle. They will struggle with that mental stability. And in fact, before I came here today, I was on the road, and I came here and I was talking to a former client, and she was telling me about another client, and they were talking about how they were with me when they were under medication, and they abruptly stopped taking their medication because they felt peace, and they thought, I can go off these pharmaceuticals because I feel so much peace. And I was like, no, do not do that. You've been on that medicine for 10 years. It needs to be slowly done, and that takes time. And if you do that radically, like this person did, it's going to create a polarity in everybody physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. And it could be very dramatic, and oftentimes people get hospitalized because that's how dramatic it is. And then you get more medicine, and it's quite an interesting experience for somebody not usually favorable. So anyway, she chose to go off the medicine because she thought she could tough it out, but it was horrendous. Needless to say, she is now off the medicine totally and fully. But what happens when people take medications for mental stability is what they don't understand is the imprints and the overlays and the way in which the brain signals are modified because of the medication. So when we look at being mentally stable from the natural law perspective, we want to have our heart dictating our mind. And then the seeing and sensing is occurring here first, and this directs the thought process. For most people, that is not necessarily the case. Opposite of expression. I think that's Peter, I'm going to put that for tomorrow. In fact, what I'm going to do is make a list, and I'm going to use the frequency of the list to choose the topics for that day, and I'm going to do it when we're live. So you guys could be a part of the process. Does that make sense? So what are you feeling in relationship to mental stability? Like, what questions come up for you about stability and about mental stability? And Mick says a sense of peace, for sure, right? Because when we are in our heart, we are going to be calm. We're going to be collected. We're going to have a sense of clarity that's different than just seeing. It's going to be feeling that clarity. Taylor is saying, yes, your education is taught to be led from birth. Yeah, we're conditioned from the onset, no doubt. And there's a lot of things that happen energetically that I'm not going to go into here from the birth as well. That is beyond what the average person's comprehension is. And that would go into the unbelievable, right? Because people are not in connection to their hearts to know what is really true. And that's what's so important about being in the present moment is that when you trust your heart, when you learn to trust your heart, and for those of you doing that 40-day challenge, you will, in that process, learn your heart and the ways of your heart in a different way. Every single day it's going to be different. It will not be the same every day for 40 days. And if it is the same for all 40 days, that's going to be because you weren't paying attention. So this is going to help you increase your aptitude and awareness to the truth frequency. And when you are in alignment with that, your mental clarity is going to be adjusted. But that's also going to mean you're going to see things that are quite uncomfortable, and you're going to have to go into your heart to help calm that and regulate that and say, hey, maybe that's really not something I need to be in judgment of. How to move from deflection to a stabilization. Well, the deflection occurs within the ego mind. So when we talk about ego, it's going to be, and this is also what's going to take you out of the present moment as well, is when you are in the judgment or higher or lower ego, meaning you're inflated and you're not grounded and you're not sure and you're defending the status quo or your state. But when you're mentally clear, you'll know when you need to defend anything at all. And really, I would offer to you and all of my clients is to, you want to invest your energy in things that you really want to fight for, not against. Because to fight against something is going to be depleting. But when you're fighting for something, it's invigorating. And it's like, Mel, like when you said a couple weeks ago about your daughter and about her expression, like your daughter was really in that quandary about fighting for something or accepting it, and you two had different opinions, and then you kind of adjusted. So it's quite an interesting experience, and it says a lot about a mother and a father who has integrity to say, you know what, I thought about what you said, and maybe I was off, or maybe I was, the way I perceived it was inaccurate, and I want to make a correction. So, so to move from a state of deflection would be to recognize that what is, and is this really where I want to invest my time, my energy, because deflecting is a fruitless endeavor. And that's all about the ego mind. So do you want to fight for the status quo? I would say, hell no. I don't want to fight for status quo. I want to fight for something I believe in, something that's worthy of my time, energy, and effort, which is why I come on here. You who have taken time to watch and participate and contribute to these chats are meaningful. F. Troppin said it, I got shot when I was 12 and almost died. Yeah, near-death experience make you appreciate the present moment and stability all the more. Anybody who's had a life-altering experience, myself included, it makes you get real and what's really important to you. And mental stability, I think yesterday was supposed to be Mental Health Day. And to me, that felt more like a promotion for an institutionalization of how people should be getting help for their mental health. That's what I felt it as. It felt very incongruent to me. Like, I don't like other people, any people telling me what to do. Why do people get into radical thoughts, which is quite often seen in people from the Middle East? Is mental mindset? Well, culture is a big influencing, and I think it's radical thoughts is not exclusive. I mean, just look at the politics in the United States. You want to talk about radical? I mean, it is not exclusive to the Middle East. So to say that is really something that I would offer to you, CCCP, is to understand that you have some limitations within your perceptions to, I know you're just giving an example here, but really radical thoughts are, I think what you're trying to say is radical ideological beliefs, and it's not limited to a culture. It's been promoted throughout our environment. And so if we're not using critical thinking, we too can embody these radical thoughts that make no sense, right? Because why? People believe things that don't make any sense because they're not using critical thinking. And that's an issue. And in fact, I don't post a lot on LinkedIn. I post these every once in a while. I post a quote or whatever, and I always post these videos. But one of the posts that I posted a while ago that got a lot of traction was about how many people have lost the skill of critical thinking. And what is critical thinking as it relates to mental health? It's absolutely necessary. People who have mental instabilities do not have that skill of critical thinking because they've given and abdicated their power away in ways that they can't even understand or comprehend. And if they go to a therapist, by and large, nobody's going to tell them that they've abdicated their personal power. It's crazy. Awesome, Mel. Yes, it was a great learning experience for both of us. I felt better when I validated her feelings. Beautiful. And I think that's a beautiful example, Mel, for myself and anybody else in here. Is like, it's never too late to correct things. We are not here to be perfect. We are here to be in alignment. And sometimes when we think thoughts that we thought were true, we learn the new truth and we realign. And if we have to go back something, then we do so. And by the way, Mel, I've done that with my dog. I had to go and apologize to my dog because I took my dog to the vet thinking that, unfortunately, that veterinarians had a different operating philosophy than traditional doctors, and they really don't. And, we did some procedures with my dog that were painful and traumatic and traumatizing for my dog and for me. And I apologized to my dog. Our dogs know our animals, whether it's a dog or a cat or an animal, they feel us. And I was really devastated of how painful the experience was. Muhammad is asking about meditation. I will put that on the list for another day because today we're talking about mental stability. However, there is a lot of data that supports meditation is very helpful for mental stability. So I guess I'll go into it a little bit. What I will say is this, is that just like religion, meditation has gotten hijacked. And that people think that they need to meditate in a prescriptive way in order for meditation to work for them. And it's just not true. And having been a dedicated meditation person for years, I've tried all different types of meditation because I think, variety is about resonance. And some days you feel like sitting in silence, and other days you might need to be in a walk or in communion. And meditation is really about the present moment. It's about being present to the moment that is. So I can share a little bit from my meditation this morning if it might be helpful, because I thought it was really beautiful learning. So as many of you know, I've been doing these living tea ceremonies. This is a meditation with tea, and you basically drink tea in silence, and you commune with the tea, and you get all kinds of insights or awarenesses, or however you want to interpret your meditations. And I got this picture of a chicken, and I had a really not a favorable experience of the image of the chicken that I had in my mind. And then I saw a chicken breast, and then I saw a chicken, and then I saw this amazing salad that I love. And I'm not a big salad eater, but I do like a beet salad. And I was like, oh my gosh, what would be really, in my mind, I'm thinking what would really add to the flavor and the texture of this salad is some quinoa. And then the guidance is that they're both part of creation. Both the chicken and the vegetables are part of creation. But I was in judgment of my perceptions of what I was seeing about the chicken in my view. So when you go out of judgment, it just is part of creation. Nothing is better or worse than whatever you're perceiving, okay? So it was just that I was in more resonance with the salad and the experience and what I was preferring, and that the chicken was just chicken and I didn't need to judge it. And I thought that was a beautiful thing with food, because that's one of my biggest challenges is what am I going to eat? And, I have my mind that has been conditioned that you're supposed to have these things, and you need this for your health, and you need this to build muscles, and all this stuff that we have been lied to about food. And that's another topic. But it goes back into the mental stability which food is going to fuel that for you. For somebody, it might be the chicken because they resonate with that. But for me, it's not that. But I don't want to judge it either. So whatever it is, acceptance for what is important for mental stability. because most of the time, people who are having mental stability, they're not holding on, meaning they're not attached to particular outcomes. So I'm just going to post, it's been about 20 minutes. I'm just going to ask another question before I go down the chat. How is this present? For those of you who have been here, how is this? Is this thumbs up? You like this presentation style? You don't like it? It needs some nuance. I'm here to hear what you have to say. Warren says, I'm not entirely sure you could put everyone into that box. I am like the psychiatric books tend to do. Oh, I'm not putting everybody into a box. I'm just speaking off the cuff here. But I do think meditation, that's why I said you need to find what works for you. I think meditation is a good time to be in reflection. And I personally, because I'm sensitive, I get distracted in group meditations, people coughing and moving around and stretching. I tend to like meditations on my own, although I know a lot of people like group yoga and that type of thing. It's not just, I've done them all, and I really don't care for group stuff like that. Andrew, I don't know what you're saying about MAGA, isn't it? Are you talking about extreme? I don't know what you're asking there. So I'm just curious. Also, let's talk about mental stability and and drugs. They work in opposition. And when we are mentally wanting to be in the full expression of our authentic self, those drugs really, they deter that. They deter that in my experience. I have to apply myself more to meditation, but open to it. Mick, I don't know where you live, but I would say I've done all different kinds of meditation. I love experiential learning, so I like being challenged in some ways. And so I found transformational breath, when it's done with a good practitioner. Unfortunately, they're not all equal, or fortunately, they're not all the same. So really find somebody that you resonate with, and I would highly recommend it. That's like a meditation on steroids. It's almost like taking a hallucinogenic or an ayahuasca type experience. It's very profound. The other thing that I really enjoy, and I've said it over and over again, is these tea ceremonies, because I really experience the tea talking to me. And depending on what kind of tea you have. And it sounds like a drug, but it's not. It's like really communing with nature. And if you're present enough to commune with your plants, and I talk to my plants all the time, my husband talks to our plants, we water them. Before I water them, I'm blessing the water just like I bless my own water. I think it's important. It's a practice of it being intentional. Can we just say that smoking is a kind of meditation? Well, you could say whatever you want. That's the thing about language and beliefs is, hey, Daniel, good to see you. We're doing things different today. You can believe whatever the hell you want to believe. Whether it's right or wrong, it's just about your alignment. So the fact that you're asking the question tells me that you already know that it's really not, but you want to believe it is. The choice is whether you want to listen to your own inner wisdom or not. Ooh, 73 say you like it. Yeah, thanks you guys. I appreciate your feedback. Wow, I am thrilled that you guys are on board with this new approach, because let me tell you, I really feel like my heart is alive. I feel so much less constricted about putting things in 1, 2, 3 ABCs. I have worked with admirals, captains, senior civilians, high-ranking officials in organizations, and it's really about putting things in bullet forms for them when you're communicating. So I feel untethered, really, with this experience. Like my heart is happy. And the other thing is, I think I'm going to keep these at an hour. I don't want to continue to go on to an hour and a half. No, I'm not a crystal healer. Well, see, Armando, Armando is saying, well, I think it works for me, smoking and meditation. But this is the problem. You're thinking, and that's why you're not in connection with your heart. That's the issue. When you want to be present to the moment and you are talking about mental stability, your thinking is what takes you off of your stability, because you want the heart to inform the mind, not the mind dictating the path. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to exploring this process with you. So tomorrow I'm going to have a list of topics, and then I'm going to spend the first 5 minutes just chit-chatting with whoever shows up, and then you will have an opportunity to do the poll and choose the topic that you want to talk about, and that is what I will be exchanging messages with you about. So I have a few from today, and then Peter, I'm going to go through all of your recommendations, and I'm going to have them here, and I'm going to feel what's most resonant as I start the session. These live sessions begin anywhere from 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and thank you, Nitin, for capitalizing that. 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and through 3 p.m. So put your notifications on if you're interested. Then you could have a reminder and participate in the topic selection, and we will go from there. So again, Kiannaa Sadge here for being in Sync 366 video series. We are switching things up from today moving forward. We're going to see how it goes. At least for me, I'm enjoying this expression with you and being less tethered to getting things in a tangible way for you. I hope that you all receive something tangible from this communication, and yeah, if you're interested, you can reach out at kiannaa.com, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Peter, for being here, and Mel, and Eric, and Mick, and Don, and Tammy. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.